Good morning, Patriots. Coming to you from the great state of Florida, and it feels like a different state of Florida for a variety of reasons. Number one, because the wind isn't 50 mile an hour, however crazy the wind was yesterday, post tornado touchdown. We've got some damage here, but it doesn't seem to be as extreme as areas like Panama City Beach. But I did see a report of the damage that was surveyed around here. We had a roof ripped off of a gas station. Some fences were blown down, some debris around, but I think we made it out pretty good. And it's a little bit cooler today. And regardless of all that, I am very, very happy and very pleased to call this my home, my new home. But I don't know how much longer that's going to be if we allow the infiltration of the the Democratic Party, into the great state of Florida. As I am reading this headline from Newsweek that says, Florida considers socialist model to combat soaring insurance costs. Now this comes at, great timing, obviously, post-tornado, multiple tornadoes hitting the state of Florida, and obviously sparking up the conversation about insurance, okay? Now, to clarify, when it says Florida, I don't feel as though it really means Florida. When it says Florida considers socialist model, I think this means Democrats consider socialist model. I think Democrats and liberals, I'll refrain from using any derogatory term for liberals, in the state of Florida, that happen to live in the state of Florida, are considering this socialist insurance model. And I also think that the competition is writing these headlines and positioning Florida to look a certain way prior to an election, because obviously the relation to Florida is going to be connected and tied to the candidate. This could backfire, though. This could backfire, and I'll explain why as I dive into this ridiculous idea of a welfare state that is backed on unsubstantiated claims. And it says, according to Newsweek, this was put up January 8, 2024, Florida lawmakers looking to tackle the insurance crisis in the state are considering allowing state-backed citizens property insurance to cover more homes following the exodus of some 15 major insurers in the past couple of years. This is a business cycle, folks. This is a business cycle, okay? Not all businesses are going to survive. Not all businesses are going to stay in one location. Not all businesses are going to thrive. And it says that the cost of home insurance has ballooned in the Sunshine State in recent years, with Floridians paying on average $6,000 in 2023, the highest premium in the entire country, according to data from the Insurance Information Institute. Insurance costs have grown by 102% in the past 3 years alone, according to Triple I. Now, $6,000 a year is relatively high for insurance, but multiple videos were uploaded to the channel yesterday, a couple live streams. In one of the videos, I even showed you, I think it was 6 or 8 of the new companies that entered into Florida to provide and offer insurance. So there's no shortage of homeowners insurance providers, okay? Additionally, the $6,000 figure on average is a skewed number, because we don't know where they pulled this average from. And if they pull this average from, I don't know, the neighborhood where Jeff Bezos lives in, that's pretty cheap. So you see what I'm saying here? Now, the increased risk of damage posed by more frequent and more extreme weather events, the growing Florida population, and the number of claims in the state have led several insurance companies to leave the state, exacerbating an already bad situation. Why would we have more frequent extreme weather events. Why would we have more frequent? Who can predict that? Who can control that? Who can decide that Florida is targeted to have more frequent extreme weather events? Now, either it's a bold-faced lie, it's an exaggeration of the truth, or it's showing their hand on what they're capable of. Regardless, we will carry on here. And it says that calls have grown in recent months for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the state legislation to do something to tackle the ongoing crisis. On previous occasions, DeSantis spoke to Newsweek that the Republican DeSantis' spokesperson told Newsweek that the Republican had already acted to alleviate costs for Florida homeowners, but these measures will take time to show results. And unfortunately, it took time to get here, and it will take time to move on past this. Okay, this is just how life works. We cannot only have instant gratification, because if that is the case, then we will only have more problems in the future, because the proposed solution by the Dems is no different than what we went through in 2020 and 2021, which we are still trying to dig ourselves out of that hole today, okay? And it says here that in December, DeSantis unveiled a proposed budget that would include cutting property insurance taxes. And Newsweek reached out to DeSantis' spokesperson to comment via email on Monday. And among the proposed solutions filed in previous legislations is introducing direct subsidies to struggling policyholders, lowering reinsurance costs, and crucially allowing the not-for-profit Citizens Property Insurance to cover more homes, according to Tampa news station Fox 13. Now, this is a mixed bag here, folks, because they're mixing in some of the things that Republican Governor Ron DeSantis has done and is doing and working on with some of the ideas and proposals that Democratic lawmakers and politicians are trying to introduce. And it says that the measure would help those homeowners left without coverage by the departure of private insurers. Though the company is generally considered an insurer of last resort, Citizen Property Insurance only steps in after a homeowner is refused coverage by a private insurance company, and it currently insures about 1.3 million policyholders in Florida. While many of these proposals, most of them introduced by Democrats, have not been previously allowed to pass by Republican lawmakers, the idea to expand the Citizens Property Insurance coverage was sponsored by Representative Jim Mooney and Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez. Now, if you notice here, it says while many of these proposals, most of them introduced by Democrats, okay? They're sneaking it in there, but they're not telling you specifically and clearly what they're trying to do. And it says that the two South Florida lawmakers are proposing to increase the cap on the value of homes that Citizens Property Insurance can cover in Monroe and Miami-Dade counties. Okay, so you have two Republican lawmakers trying to increase the cap that Citizens will insure only in two counties. Only in two counties. According to their proposed bill, the state-run insurer could cover homes valued at up to $1.5 million instead of the current $1 million. Annual rate increases in the two counties would be capped at 10%. This sounds like a reasonable proposal. We want to increase Citizens' reach to $1.5 million. Okay, great. Home prices are going up anyway. Not a big deal. It's really more semantics at that point. It's just inflation, really. However, capping the annual rate increase at 10% will definitely help people know that, hey, if your premium was $6,000 on average, we're using the average, for 2023, then at most through Citizens, it will be $6,600 because we're not going to increase it more than 10%. I'm okay with that. I can live with that, okay? Now, as we move forward here, Charles Nice, department chair, and a Dr. William T. Hold, associate professor of risk management and insurance at Florida State University, told Newsweek that he doesn't believe the solution to be feasible. And this is in regard to the changes that the Democrats want to introduce to the insurance for citizens. And he said, it appears from my reading of the bill that it would have citizens selling insurance below actually fair rates. It would undermine any private insurance company being able to compete and continue to add liabilities to the state of Florida's balance sheet. So, additionally, you have to have insurance. Now, the beauty of it is that, yes, a lot of insurance companies have left the state. State Farm, I think, Farm Bureau, some others have left the state. And yes, that would put homeowners in a precarious situation. Therefore, Citizens was available to step in to cover them in the interim. But with more insurance companies entering into the state, thanks to Governor Ron DeSantis and his actions, then these homeowners will have more options available to receive coverage. And if they are offered coverage, they will take it. It's not, I don't want it, so I'm going to choose Citizens because it's cheaper. Citizens is available if you are not able to get insurance coverage. But with having an additional 6 or 8 more companies coming in at the very least, it's going to be highly unlikely that you'll be unable to get insurance. Okay, so they're trying to spin this like Citizens is going to be the end all be all bailout for all homeowners insurance, and you don't have to pay for it. That's not true, okay? And it says that the concern is that an insolvent citizen's property insurance, this is a reach, this is a stretch right here, might cause millions of Florida policyholders to pay more, even if they're covered by other private companies, something that is permitted under state law. The concern is that an insolvent citizen's property insurance might cause millions of Florida policyholders to pay more, even if they're covered by other private companies. So what they're trying to say here, in my opinion, deciphering their code, is that other policy holders who have no issue getting homeowners insurance through some of these other companies will have to pay more to subsidize those who do not. But the craziest part about it here is that the committee chair, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, said there's also concern that all American taxpayers will suffer if a struggling Florida should look to the federal government for emergency relief. This is an extreme hypothetical situation of a what if, because I can tell you right now that the state of Florida is not struggling. Now, granted, the money that they have on the books for Citizens to cover these policies is not sufficient for a total loss, a total catastrophic loss of a massive disaster in Florida, assuming every single policy that they cover experiences a catastrophic loss, which that's not going to happen. But ultimately what they're trying to do here is they're trying to, and these Democrats are trying to introduce this proposal for a socialist welfare state of insurance where the safety net, the backup plan, the opportunity exists. My hands are freezing. This MacBook is aluminum and it's cold out here. These two do not mix. I need mittens or gloves or something. But they're trying to introduce this socialist welfare of insurance for the state of Florida. And the Democrats are, but they're trying to say that it's the state of Florida. And I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think that's tongue in cheek. I think that's, as the kids would call it, clickbait. And essentially, let me ask you guys, what do you think? Would you rather the system stay the way that it is and allow for competition to enter into the state as normal, and Citizens to be the backup plan for those who cannot get insurance, which is not a tremendous amount. They make it seem like it's everybody, and it's not. All for the Democrats to get everyone else in Florida to pay more to subsidize everybody else who can't get insurance, or at least is complaining about insurance. Because I got to tell you guys right now that if me personally, I am in a situation where I can't financially afford the cost of living, I don't put that blame on someone else. I have to then decide to myself, am I going to find a way to afford these costs? Am I going to find a way to cut back on other expenses? Am I going to find a way to increase my income? Or am I going to find somewhere else to live that I can afford? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys a little bit later with another video.